welcome everybody back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. I am Gina Swire, self-love expert, mentor and manifesting queen. And today we are going to be talking about surrendering to life. And this is a question I'm being asked at the moment very much more often than normal, and I do think due to the pandemic, due to the situation of the world, we are forced to surrender even more than normal, and those of us who are not able to surrender are really struggling with what is in front of us. So I wanted to make this video to answer some of the questions and give my 2 pence on how this stuff works and where I personally have struggled / am struggling. Like, I am not at the end of my journey. I am very much in my journey. So I totally understand, resonate and get it. Okay, so a few things I want to share first of all are a few of the things that I say, my friends say, and you can write these down. So one of them is goddess has got it. And what we like to say goddess, but that can be interchanged with God or the universe or other words that you might pray to. And for us, for me, it's goddess has got it, or the universe has got it, or trust the universe. And another thing is the song I Release Control, and it goes, I release control and surrender to the song. And so I will post the link to that song below. I am often singing that song in times of challenge, and it really helps. There's a few things that play out with this, and I really do think there's a few levels of surrendering. First, there's surrendering to the divine plan, surrendering to the universe, surrendering to God. Then there's surrendering to the now, like surrendering to what is here in front of us now. And this is very key. And then there's also surrendering to a partner. There is surrendering even in friendships. You know, if someone has some idea and maybe you don't want that, then there's a time when you might be like, you know what, I'll just let you take control. And that is another version of surrendering. So the one that we're going to be focusing on today mostly is around the universe, the divine path, because that is, you know, going to reflect into every relationship that you have. As I said at the beginning, I am a manifesting queen, and a manifesting queen involves holding a very strong desire. It includes knowing what we want or being shown what we want by the universe and taking action to go get it and to go have it. So what this doesn't mean is that I am sat around miserable because the thing that I desire hasn't come in yet. And this is where this surrendering to the universe comes in. So in my manifestation career, which is long, like over 10 years, there's been things that I've been like, I really desire to go to South Africa. I wanted to go on a modeling kind of trip to South Africa, and I had said to my agent, I want to get an agent in South Africa. I want to go there for this month to this month, and like I had it all mapped out. That's what I really felt I wanted to do, and it wasn't working. It didn't happen. I did get the agent, but it just didn't align, and the dates weren't working, and everyone was a bit stressed about it. I was really pushing for it, pushing and really pushing. And it's a fine line between taking action and pushing when what's in front of you is like, no, bro, you are staying in England. Or I think I was in New York at the time. So the difference is that when the universe is not giving you what you want, then you can be like, okay, what is in front of me is not aligning to what I think I want. Maybe the universe knows better. So the universe, or goddess, shall we say, knows more than we do, knows what's coming in the future, knows how two people are going to interact, like knows what medicine you're going to get from an interaction, knows what medicine or lessons you're going to get from me going to South Africa, for example. And I believe that if that medicine is not the exact thing that you need to evolve your soul, then it will not be in alignment and you will not get it. And that is totally okay. So any master manifester probably has some manifestation things that they thought they wanted that they've actually released now because it wasn't in alignment anymore. So as I say, there's a fine line between us thinking we know what we want, which, let's be honest, we're just a tiny little human. How on earth are we supposed to know what we want? Yes, we have visions. Yes, we have feelings. Yes, we have ideas. Yes, we can follow our bliss. All these things are like our inner GPS or our guidance system. But the universe, I believe, does know better. So that's one version of surrendering. And also, like, I really believe in divine or design timing. And if you think you want something, like, for example, a lot of my friends, they want to meet their one. They really, really want that, and they cannot understand why it's not happened yet or it's not happening. And I like to come back to, yes, I love to manifest. I love to think and know that I can intentionally create something in my future. But at the same time, there's this energy of divine timing. And if I had have manifested my partner a few years ago when I thought that's what I needed, I wouldn't have had all those years of experiences, which has been the exact medicine I've needed for this relationship that I'm now in, which is lighting up my life and called in my absolute soul partner that's better than I could ever imagine, and we feel so happy together. I don't think I could have met him a few years ago until I'd had the experiences that I've had. And so with that said, if you're a master manifester and you want to like deepen into this surrendering thing, it's a thing, there's a few things to know. And so this is a story I'm going to tell you where I haven't shared this yet on any social media or anywhere, but it's a big thing that's happening in my life, which is teaching me the art of surrender in a huge, huge way. And what that is like my partnership that I'm in now, that I've been in for the last 7 or maybe 8 months now. And we've known each other actually for over a decade. Yeah, when we got together, he didn't know yet, but my body's a little tense at the moment. He had actually got his ex pregnant. And so he didn't know until we were in a relationship and we were in love, and then we got this news. And so my first response was, okay, that is what is in front of me right now. I can reject that. I can hate that. I can want to control what that is, but ultimately I can't. And even though it doesn't necessarily make sense to me, I can surrender to it. And this was a brand new thing to me, because that would have been a deal breaker. But trusting the energy of our relationship, trusting the guidance to be in the relationship, why would spirit guide me to be in this relationship and then give me something like that if I couldn't surrender to it? Do you know what I mean? So this has been a huge theme of our relationship. Of course, this has brought up a lot of conversations, and at first we did actually break it off, but the universe was like, no, there's a lot of love here, and this, if you can be with this, then this is going to be a very fast learning curve and evolution for both of you. And so for the last 6 or 7 months, I have been surrendering to the fact that it's completely unknown. This person I've never met before is going to have a child with my partner while we're in a relationship. And how does that affect him? How is he going to be involved in that? How is that going to be for us? Like, what does that mean in our relationship? What does it mean in their relationship? The relationship with the baby? What does it mean in terms of the fact that we've been living in Bali and this is going to be in England? And the more I try to control everything, the more I suffer. And actually, if I can trust what's in front of me right now, then, and just keep coming back to trust. And I'm not perfect at this. Like, this is a huge thing that I have never dealt with before, never thought that I would. And yeah, just keep surrendering. Like, this is what's in front of me right now. Okay. Like, the universe is giving me this big card. Like, how can I surrender to it? And yeah, it's been like a daily practice, and there's going to be a lot more to come. But it's just knowing, like, we are all being guided all of the time by something, whatever you believe in. I believe in spirit, and spirit knows more than we do. And it's actually surrendering to that. Spirit knows more than I do. More will be revealed. I listen, I create space to listen, I go with my gut, I follow my guidance, and more will be revealed. And I believe that anything is solvable, especially in a relationship. And I believe that anything is solvable. If there's two committed people, there's a lot of love and compassion and open communication, then I believe that you can actually surrender to anything. And as I do surrender to more and more things, I'm noticing like how much more sensation I can hold in my body. And that means like in terms of life, what actually goes on in life. And then also in terms of sex, like in terms of body sensations and pleasure. Yeah, I can hold so much more. And I really just feel like this space is getting bigger. The last thing I want to say on this is that I believe, and I've been shown many times, that we are all receiving the exact medicine that we need to evolve, like I said earlier. And so if someone in your life is either going through something really hard or not acting the way that you need them to act to love them, or maybe something is showing up that just really is tricky, or even recently a friend of mine lost both of her parents in 1 month, and you know, it would be easy for me to just be like, oh my god, like what the hell, universe, you've obviously got something wrong, like you've completely messed up, like how can I trust this, like this is beyond me. But being in relationship with God, or being in relationship with Goddess or the universe, or whatever, spirit, or your higher self, or your future self, or your, you know, someone who's passed away, it means being in a deep level of trust. And yes, it can waver when big things come up, but it is a relationship, and surrendering to that relationship, knowing that you are loved, you are always taken care of, and everything is working out in your favor. It's just such a better way to live. It's more effective. It's just knowing you can hold and handle anything. And yeah, I didn't used to live that way. It wasn't how I was brought up, and it wasn't how I was necessarily conditioned from society. It's something that I've learned to go towards, and it's so much better. It's much more relaxing. And one exercise that I want to leave you with is simple Simon exercise. It's simply write down all of your problems, all of your challenges, everything that feels out of alignment, and then go through and literally write, in my control, out of my control, in my control, out of my control, wherever you feel necessary. Or you can split your paper, in my control, out of my control. And if it's out of your control, which a lot of these things are, even if we think we can control them, because let's be honest, there could be a huge earthquake tomorrow and completely trash everything you've been working towards, your business, your house, your body, even whatever. There could be a huge pandemic. If you're married, you know, something could happen in your partnership, or someone could leave you. Like, all these things, of course, are not nice to think about, but they're all out there, and we don't have to live in constant fear. We can just know it's out of our control, and even the worst things we have 100% success rate of getting through. You know, my partner recently left Bali to go back to England, and the build up to that was a little bit like, how's that going to be? We've been together for 8 months. How am I going to feel? I'm going to have a lot of space. And then actually, like, when he actually left, it was fine. You know, it's more like the anticipation of the thing you don't want. And then when it happens, you're like, oh, what was I worrying about? And my clients say this all the time. They're like, worry, worry, worry. And then 6 months later, I'm like, remember when you were worrying about that? And they're like, yeah, I needn't have worried. So that's another phrase for you. I needn't have worried. And you can put it on a post-it next to your bed and just remind yourself that, you know, that Goddess has got it. So I hope this has been helpful for you in terms of surrendering to the universe. Let me know. As you do surrender to the universe, you will become more orgasmic. That's how it works. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe. I cannot wait to hear from you how you are doing with this. And yeah, if you want to get any more tips on self-love, then go to ginaswire.com or Gina Swire on Instagram. I love you.